Good afternoon and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. In the breaking news this afternoon, there is going to be finally an exodus. There's going to be a clear out in January. The Celtic manager has spoken about this before. He has said that we need to trim the beef off the current squad. And let's face it, we did a live last night where we went through the full squad and we said, should we keep them, should we bench them, or should we sell them? The Celtic manager has spoken. And first of all, before we talk about the ones that he's spoken to that can leave for next to nothing, there's breaking news when it comes to Rocco Vata. Rocco Vata is a player that is out of contract. He has not agreed to sign a new contract this season. Celtic have then withdrawn any contract offer to him. Juventus and Monaco have scheduled talks over a £340,000 switch for the Hoops attacker. There's been other clubs that have been involved, but the big names are obviously Juventus and Monaco have joined a list of European heavyweights interested in taking Rocco Vata off of Celtic's hands. The 18-year-old has a list of potential suitors that would gladly take him from Celtic this coming transfer window. There's obviously been reports that he was going to leave the club. He hasn't played a single game for Celtic. He's one player that we would all love to have seen play for Celtic, but he spat his dummy out at the beginning of the season. He didn't want to go out on loan, so he wasn't offered that new contract by Celtic. Brendan Rodgers does have some time to get some more players in, but he has told a number of players that they can now leave in January, including a £3.75 million player that was brought in to take place for Greg Taylor. Alexandro Bernabe, James McCarthy, Yoki Kobayashi are amongst those that are not part of the Celtic manager's plans. Whilst the recruitment team came under plenty of praise. They come under plenty of praise through Ange Postecoglou's era at Celtic, rightly considering so. When we brought in Kyogo, we brought in Hatate, we brought in Matt O'Reilly, we brought in Jota, who was sold on for crazy amount of money. When you look at the players that are about to be set free from Celtic, we have the list as Alexandro Bernabe, James McCarthy, Yoki Kobayashi, Ida Gucci, and Benjamin Siegrist have all been told that there is no longer a place for them at Celtic Park. Now, this will now shed some light on the post that Benjamin Siegrist put on his Instagram the other day. He was obviously told a couple of days ago, and he had the eyes. So he knows he has now been told he can leave for free in the new year, which is fine. I'm quite happy with that. We do need to get another goalkeeper in. There's no room for three goalkeepers that we have at the moment. It is a position that we need to have looked at. The fact that Ida Gucci, who was nominated for Jai League Player of the Year recently, has held talks over a permanent move, so Celtic can look to recoup some of the £800,000 investment that they made for Ida Gucci. When it comes to other players, you look in the middle of the park, we do have Matt O'Reilly, Callum McGregor, David Turnbull, who will leave the club at the end of the season, as understood. Rio Hatate, Odin Ohm, Paulo Bernardo. Will Paulo Bernardo be offered a new contract at the end of the season? That's one question that probably will get asked later on in the year. Has he done enough just now? Well, it's anyone's guess. But the fact that Siegrist is the third choice goalkeeper, he can leave for free. Kobayashi, who's fallen behind Liam Scales in the pecking order, and all the other players that are sitting on the bench and can't even make the team. Forgotten man, James McCarthy, he can get out the door as quick as you can. But the big one for me is he was signed from Argentine, from an Argentine football club, and for £3.75 million. Bernabe, he has not done enough to get Greg Taylor out of the team. Greg Taylor is he's improved under the times of Ange Postecoglou. He's improved a bit last year, but this season he has not hit the heights of those dizzy spells that he had before. But with the Celtic manager now looking to bring in a new striker, Aberdeen obviously are on the radar with Bojan Mavovsky. He will cost an excess of £4 million. You then have Sidney Van Hooijdonk, who we looked at last pre-season, and the Brøndby ace that we wouldn't pay £4 and a bit million for. in the summer. Are we really expecting to go back and pay what they want for him now? Well, tell me that in the comments. It is big breaking news this afternoon. Wow, finally we're going to get rid of some of the dead weight that is in the club. Join me live tonight, and we'll talk about all these players that we're on, and we'll look at the game tomorrow night. It is a dead rubber game in the Champions League. Celtic have only managed the 1 point. It's been disappointing. It's been a really disappointing Champions League, but the fact that the likes of Bernabe, I had high hopes for that guy. I had really high hopes for Bernabe. I thought he was going to come in and manage to take the place of Greg Taylor and do something for us. But Brendan Rodgers doesn't think he can make it at Celtic, which is fine. We've got to trust the manager. We do have to trust the manager and trust what he says. So, on that note, with this breaking news this afternoon that Celtic are about to get rid of players that we've all been saying shouldn't be in there. We're going to free up the wages more than anything. Benji Siegrist, I feel sorry for him. He came in from Dundee United on a free. That season before, he did have a good season at Dundee United, but let's face it, when you come to Celtic and you're going to play at Celtic, you need to up your game and you need to make sure that you're the best you can be. And unfortunately for these players, it doesn't look like they're going to cut it for Brendan Rodgers. What does that say about the recruitment team and Ange Postecoglou? He brought those guys in. He jumped ship in the summer. Now these players are going to have to jump ship also. And on that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world. Lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the